Today, we're diving into a whole new way of thinking about smart assistants. One that might finally make our smart homes feel, well, actually smart and connected. All right, let's just jump right in with a question that I bet has crossed your mind. I mean, you've got the smart speaker, the smart display, maybe some smart lights, but why does getting them all to cooperate sometimes feel so clumsy? Not very smart at all. Well, to really get to the bottom of that, we have to look at the biggest problem with most smart homes today. And it really all comes down to one word: fragmentation. So, think about it. Right now, our so-called systems are really just a bunch of separate gadgets. Your voice assistant is one thing, the app on your phone is another, and that smart display, that's a third thing. They're all doing their own thing. The real goal, the dream, is to get rid of that jumbled mess and create one single, unified system where everything talks to one central brain. And that separation right there is why everything feels so clunky. It's that disconnect. You tell it to do something and you're left wondering, did it work? What's it doing? There's no clear, instant feedback that ties it all together. Okay, so how do we fix it? Well, let's check out a really cool new approach from a group of engineers who are trying to build a way more cohesive, unified virtual assistant. What you're looking at here is their big idea for a unified system. See how it works? Your voice command comes in, it goes to one central brain, the microprocessor, and then, and this is the key part, the response goes out to everything at the same time. The speaker, the display, the actual appliance, it's one brain with multiple ways of talking back to you. The easiest way to wrap your head around this is to think of it like a person. The microphone, those are the ears, listening. The microprocessor, that's the brain, doing all the thinking. The speaker is the mouth, talking back. The display is the face, giving you visual cues. And the little relays that actually flip the switches, those are the hands. And this is the real genius of it. The researchers didn't go out and invent some brand new fancy microphone or a super fast chip. Nope. The real breakthrough here is the design, the blueprint that finally gets all these parts we already have to talk to each other and act like a single, coordinated team. So let's get into the nitty-gritty. How does this thing actually work? How does it create an interaction that feels so much smarter? The process is actually really elegant. First, the system is just listening for that wake word. Then, once you speak, it uses natural language processing, NLP, to figure out what you actually want. And finally, it responds. But here's the magic. It doesn't just talk back. It does the thing you asked, and it shows you on the screen that it's done, all at the same time. And the researchers themselves really hammer this point home. They say the whole system is designed for multimodal responses. That's just a fancy way of saying it's built from the ground up to communicate with you in multiple ways at once, with sound, with visuals, the whole shebang. This right here is the perfect example. Let's say you tell it, dim the lights. The system doesn't just shoot an IR signal at the light bulb. At that very same moment, the interface on the screen changes to show you the lights are dimming. You see it, you hear the confirmation, and you see the lights change. It's a complete feedback loop. And you want to know what's really amazing? This whole thing, this entire integrated brain, runs on a little Raspberry Pi 4. One of those tiny, affordable computers. This proves this isn't some far-off sci-fi dream. It's something you can build right now with tech that's easy to get. Okay, so the design is super clever, but the big question is, does it actually work in the real world? Well, the researchers decided to put their prototype to the test. And the results? Pretty darn impressive. Let's start with accuracy. In a noise-free room, it understood what was being said 95% of the time. That's solid. But it's not just accurate, it's also super efficient. I mean, think about it. It's listening, controlling devices, and updating a screen all at once, and it's still using less than 40% of its CPU power. What does that mean for you? No frustrating lag. And to complete the trifecta, it is fast. The average time from the moment you stop speaking to the device actually doing the thing, just 1.8 seconds. Now that is the kind of snappy, instant response we've all been hoping for. And look, this isn't just a bunch of diagrams and numbers on a page. This is the real deal, the actual physical prototype. You can see all the parts, the fan, the lights, the speakers, the control box, all wired up and working together as one single system. And as if that wasn't enough, they pushed it even further. The platform proved to be super flexible. They tested it with other languages, like Urdu, and it worked. Just think about what that means for making this kind of tech accessible to everyone all over the world. So all this brings us to the really big question, right? What does a system like this actually mean for the future of your home? Now, the researchers are also realistic. They know that relying on the cloud for everything has its downsides. You've got latency from network delays, potential privacy issues, and what happens if your internet cuts out? Your whole smart home goes dumb. But they're already thinking ahead, pointing to solutions like hybrid models, where more of the heavy lifting, the processing, happens right there on the device in your home. So, when you boil it all down, the key takeaway is pretty clear. The next giant leap for smart assistants isn't going to be some single flashy new feature. It's going to be about total integration. It's about weaving voice, action, and visual feedback together into one coherent experience that feels so seamless. It finally feels, truly intelligent. And that leaves us with a really fascinating thought to chew on. What if your home didn't just listen to you? What if it truly understood you and responded in a way you could see and hear and even feel? A way that wasn't clumsy anymore, but a real partnership. How would that change the way we live our lives?